I just wanted to go over a few things, some big changes here. And the first thing is I'm going back to simplicity, right? Like that's kind of how this tank started off. That was kind of the whole purpose of getting the Sea Evo, was to, keep it simple, stupid. Coming from the kind of queen setup of the ADA, I really love simplicity. And right now it's simple. I was discussing with my friend, I think I'm going to grab some Zoas and throw those in there for some color to make it pop. Now, right now I don't have the light on the blue setting. During the day, midday, it changes to the more white light, but at nighttime it gets blue, and I know that they'll pop really well. So let's just go over a few things first with the keep it simple stupid comment. So I've done a couple different things from the last video. I've removed the pump down there that I had in the back corner. Now I had that because I thought the extra flow would help, but really it just aesthetically made the tank look terrible. And it's one more filter, after discussing with my friend, that really doesn't need to be in there. Coming from Freshwater, now I'm running a canister filter over here on this little guy. It's a canister filter with lily pipes. I can go 3 months without having to touch that filter, and really probably longer because it's not overstocked or anything. And so with the heavy mechanical filtration that you see in freshwater tanks, I just assumed that because the Sea Evo came with that big fat sponge filter in the back chamber over here, that I should kind of go with that and change it out every couple months, dip it in the bucket, and I'd be good to go. But he told me that with a reef tank you really don't need to do that, that the rocks kind of act as your biological filter. And so what I've done is I've taken out about 50% of the filter floss in there. There's still some on the bottom, you can't really see it. I also moved the heater to this chamber, so now everything is just flowing in through this chamber. We've got our air stone in here with that. That way it's kind of helping increase the biological filtration. I believe the air stone helps with that on the filter floss. And then we've got our heater and our pump in here. Of course, our Aquarium co-op backup pump. Not sponsored, by the way, but these are great. They've saved me so many times in power outages. We've had a lot lately. And these pumps, you can put them, well, they will automatically stay on. They'll keep the air stone on if your power goes out. So if you don't have a backup generator, very good to have. But anyway, so I took that out, put that in there. I'm going to clean that pump out and just put it on reserve for now, or do something else with it. But I think I'm going to go to just some Zoas in here. Also, guys, I know the tank looks green. I swear to you, my walls in this house are green. We haven't we bought this house about a year and a half ago. We remodeled downstairs. This is upstairs, and the walls are green, so it doesn't help with the tank. So something else I'm going to be doing is putting black back here. I've got some stuff that my buddy recommended, and I'll link that in the description. I'm not going to link it until after I actually use it, so I can make sure it actually looks nice. He says that it works great. Only downside is I don't think you can use your mag float scraper on it. So anyway, I think that's going to improve the overall aesthetic of the tank a lot to have a black background. And as you guys know, a ton of bubble algae in there still. Hopefully the emerald crab will do some work on that. I see Tux is up there right now. He's got his rock hat on, carrying a lot of rocks. Water's a little cloudy. Like I said, I just did a water change and scraped the tank, so it is a little foggy right now. As you guys know, I used the UV light to kill the bacterial thing I had going on. Worked great. And I just did, I don't know, probably about a 40% water change on this tank. So I'm hoping to just get everything back in check. I lowered my salinity a bit. It's at 1.023. The issues with the clownfish, my pet store guy was telling me, the last one I had that passed away right the day after I got it, he said maybe it was the salinity. I don't know. I've had my other one in there for years, but either way, this new one is still alive after a couple days, so I guess maybe that was it. And they are still just absolutely loving this anemone. Still really fun to watch. They do not leave that thing. And well, as I say that, that's the first time I've seen one leave. But just hilarious to watch. I love it. Another thing I did was I've got a little bit of calcium in there right now. I threw a little cuttlefish bone in there. That's what that little white piece is floating there. And that's just for the turbo snail and all my other invertebrates in there. I don't know if they'll eat that or not, but I've been told by other fish keepers that it's good to put a little cuttlefish bone in there they can snack on. But I'm hoping if I keep doing good water changes on this and my emerald crab, I can get rid of that bubble algae in there, and hopefully it's going to lower like the phosphates and everything else. And I think getting rid of some of this filter floss since I was under the impression I could run it like a freshwater tank, which is obviously not the case. Hopefully the bio load coming out from doing 50% of that removal doesn't affect anything too badly. But anyway, I really like the way the tank's looking now. I was really just wasn't really happy with it, and now it's starting to look more appropriate, I think. Much better than before. And I think we get this water cleared up, get rid of that bubble algae, throw some zoas in there. I was looking last night. I was gonna order some, but my God, by the time I ordered 2 1-inch frags, my buddy and I were on Discord chatting about it and going through some different links, and I don't remember which website it was, but just 2 frags came out to $170, and I love this hobby, but $40 shipping, come on guys. I know it's gotta be like FedEx overnight and stuff, but man, these little reef tanks can get so expensive so quickly between corals and mushrooms and inverts and all the other things you can do with them. It can get really costly really quickly, and maybe someday, I don't know, maybe someday if I get more people watching, I can get some sponsors that will send me some stuff to test out. But right now it's just me, myself, and I, so you get what you get here. But if you're looking at getting a Sea Evo, you guys watch my series from the very beginning. I've documented the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think this is probably the most honest reviews of this tank so far. Now, like I said, today is the first day that I'm feeling really good about the tank, and even though it's still a little foggy right now, I'm really liking the way it's starting to shape up. It's kind of like growing your hair out long, and I've been shaving with dull clippers for a while, and I feel like I'm finally maybe starting to get the shave down with the nice clean new pair of trimmers, and we're trimming back slowly and getting there and starting to make the tank look more pristine. But it's all just a big science project. That's really what it is. All this stuff, it's just a science project. Look at these two venturing out. But I've also had a couple of negative comments on this tank, and totally understandable. I completely agree with everything a few of you had said, that my phosphates were out of whack, and well, I know that. I tested for that, and you're right, they were out of whack. And that's why I'm trying to get it under control. These videos are holding myself accountable, but the tank is, I guess you could call it, thriving with the 2 clownfish. The 2 clowns are thriving. But anyway, if anyone has any recommendations or anything, I'm all ears. You don't have to just criticize me. You could also give me tips if you've been doing this for a long time. But if you're a backyard mechanic, that I do all my own mechanic work too, but I want the guy that built the parts. So if you're just gonna throw shade at me, at least give me some good pointers. Don't just criticize the tank. I'm trying to improve. That's the whole point of documenting this series on the Fluval Sea Evo 13.5 gallon reef tank that's not a reef tank right now. I'll see you guys in the next update video. Hopefully everything is going well. Maybe things have changed for the better. All right, later guys.